So Rini, what are we going to do this week with your vlog?
Well, I don't know if you recall, but last time we were in München for Ale, and at the end of the day we talked with Roman Pichler.
Yeah.
We didn't make a vlog about that. So I think we have this interview still on the shelf, so my idea would be to make a vlog about that.
Okay, that's nice, it was a good interview. So,
yeah,
let's do that.
Then I'm going to start to write.
And then I'm going to have a look at the video with Rowan.
Good.
Okay,
see you later.
See you.
Well, Roman, thanks for sitting with me today. I'm really curious about the development in the world of product ownership, but we'll come to that later. I'm just wondering, you're let's say well known for all the product owner work, your book on the product ownership. Why is it so hard, product ownership?
Why is it so hard? That's a very good question, and not necessarily an easy one to answer. I think several factors come into play. One of the reasons I find that organizations struggle to make the product owner role work is, in a way, a lack of entrepreneurship. I think product managers, if an organization works with product managers, sometimes administer and manage products rather than being given the ability to lead a product and act as entre or intrapreneurs, really take the product, really take the business forward, make the relevant decisions, but obviously also then be accountable for the impact of those decisions and ultimately the success of the product. So I think that's one thing, and you could say that's then related to certain aspects of the company culture. Also the way a product group, a product management group has worked so far, has worked in the past. So that'd be one element. Another element I think is around continuity. I often find that people who act as product owners only have the opportunity to do so for a very limited point of time. Then swap products, switch between projects, in a way are more project owners than product owners. So there's a lack of continuity. And that often leads to fairly short-sighted decisions, making the right decisions for the next 3 to 6 months rather than what is in the best interest of the product in the longer term. Okay. And thirdly, I think sometimes product owners find it difficult to get the collaboration piece right and to collaborate with the development team. Spend enough time to make sure that any requirements that are turned into software are ready enough. So that's the one element. And the other element is not to neglect the market, the customers and the users particularly. Stay in touch with the customers and users, make sure the customers and users are truly involved in the development effort, provide feedback and listen to that feedback and then incorporate that feedback, act upon it. And equally the internal stakeholders, representatives from management, marketing, sales, service. So in a way I feel the product owner should act as a sort of a bridge connecting the internal world, the development world, with the external world, the users and customers. So I think it's a good idea to make decisions collaboratively and try to achieve consensus if that's possible. But at the same time, as they say, a camel is a horse designed by committee. If it's always a committee that makes decisions, well, you get weak compromises and something like a feature soup, as I guess Tom DeMarco would say.
But how do you see this future development? Because Scrum is already here for more than 10 years. How is the product ownership, the product owner developing in the field? You should be the one who has the vision on that.
So I think certainly what's happening through a more widespread application of Scrum is that we learn better how the product owner role can be applied in a certain context. So when you look at the description of the product owner role, certainly in the traditional Scrum literature, then it's very, very brief. You could say in a way it's weak in the sense that there isn't much information provided. Apart from that the product owner should maybe have a vision, look after the product backlog, and make sure that the development team, the work that the development team carries out creates value. But that doesn't tell you much.
You could write the product owner on a single page probably.
Oh yes, absolutely. Yes, you could do that. And
I know someone who did that.
Yes, yeah. I think I saw some blog post or something. I can't remember who that might have been. But anyway, yes. But I think certainly my understanding over the last years has my understanding of the role has deepened. I've experienced different scenarios, different organizations where the product owner role was differently applied and successfully applied. So I think that's certainly one trend that we're understanding. We're simply understanding agile product management or product ownership better as we're growing up, as agile comes of age.
So what will be your role in that? What are your plans? Any new books, videos, blog posts? What are you working on at the moment?
So I'm really interested in the question of what needs to happen in order to get to a first product backlog that allows teams to start the actual development work. So the area that's been called the fussy front end. So it's the upstream processes, things that we traditionally would refer to as market research, product planning, business analysis, crafting a marketing strategy, developing a product concept, a marketing requirement specification. And where in a traditional setting we have well-defined processes, well-defined roles, well-defined techniques and methods. But unfortunately, if you move into the agile space, it really does impact your entire innovation process. Exactly. And it in a way invalidates to a large extent those traditional roles and processes. So the question is then, what should you do?
Probably it's the traditional way is too slow.
I think the traditional way is too slow.
They become a bottleneck for the teams.
Yes, I think that's part of it, and part of it is that in my mind, an agile approach really is characterized by applying a probe and learn process or approach. And you look at Scrum, and Scrum really is nothing else than a trial and error based process. I mean, that's probe and learn is sort of a nice way of
learning by doing.
Absolutely. You build the first product increment, you show it to customers and users, you get the feedback, you listen to their feedback, and you incorporate it into the product backlog. Now, I think any upfront work that needs to happen should A, be kept to the absolute minimum, and B, it should also be empirical. It should also be probe and learn. So the trick for me in an agile setting is to validate any assumptions about who are the customers, how would the product benefit them, what should the product roughly look like and do, and why should we develop the product as quickly as you can. And then there's obviously a trade-off if and how much upfront work you want to do before you can stock your product backlog and develop your very first product increment or working software evolutionary prototype, whatever you want to call that piece of software.
Okay, cool. So also upstream we need to become much more agile to really make sure that, let's say, we can feed the teams in an agile way to probe and learn.
I think so, yes, I really do think so.
Okay, well, Roman, thanks for your time. Thanks for the inspiration.
Thanks, Rini.
I will start writing now. Thank you very much.
It was a pleasure, thank you.
My first encounters with Scrum were in the role of product owner. And I learned the hard way that being a good product owner is not very easy. It's difficult, but it's important. My favorite author regarding product ownership is Roman Pichler. Famous from his blog post, Product Owner on a Single Page, but even more well known from his book, Agile Product Management with Scrum. Well, when I discussed with him in München, the product owner role, he again confirmed how difficult it is. And that product ownership requires continuity. That there's a danger to get project owners instead of product owners. But you also need people that are able to collaborate very well. Not only with stakeholders, but also with the development teams. But what I remember from talking to him was his emphasis, let's say, on the startup. The starting with Scrum, where there's not really a fixed backlog. Where he says, well, you really need to find a way to empirical learning. And he uses Scrum for that. And I think that's at the heart of Scrum. And I think that should be at the heart of the product owner role as well. Try to find out what your customers need most and deliver that to them faster and faster. So, as Roman said, I think at the heart of the product owner role is what he calls probe and learn. Plan, do, check, act.
This videoblog is sponsored by Awareness.
And Frans, have you taped it?
Yeah, Rini, it's a wrap.
And what do you think about it?
Well, this product owner role on one single page reminded me of the weekend.
Oh, why?
Well, my wife told her wishes for Christmas.
Yeah, so?
Well, I wish that would fit on one single page.